Virgo Collective, welcome. I'm Nikki, your local vegan tarotist, and we're going to check in on your twin flame journey. So we'll read for the truth about this connection, and then we'll read for the masculine and feminine, any blockages, any advice, any sort of confirmations that will help you come into the truth of this connection, right? So let's see, what is the truth? Oh, okay, all right, okay, Ace of Pentacles. Ooh. Five of Pentacles. All right, so this is nothing from the past. This feels new. The Sun, Leo energy. You or your person could have strong Leo energy, Leo placements. Three of Swords. Yeah, there's, and the Nine of Wands. There's a lot of hurt and despair and exhausted energy in your past. With the Nine of Wands, that's the wounded warrior. The Three of Swords. I feel like a Virgo made this deck because even all of the chaotic cards, the swords, and the wands, where there are a lot of, they're all like organized. You know, they're all kind of like, someone has brought balance and order, which through Hermit energy, or through Virgo energy, is the Hermit, which is self-analysis and that self-inventory. So somebody has done quite a bit of work, and I was just in the Sagittarius reading, I was just talking about Tombstone, which always gives me this like, say when. I was just fooling. So somebody could have been very sure about moving forward in this connection, and someone could have been a little bit reluctant, or like, oh no, I was just kidding. Or somebody, but this is two people who are seeing face to face. This could be the first time that you're seeing face to face. You could be, you know, kind of closing some sort of physical distance. But these two are super balanced. They see eye to eye on everything. And you might think, well, nobody sees eye to eye on everything. When your core values are aligned, yes, you will see eye to eye on everything. Okay? You may have differences of opinion, but your core values are exactly the same. They're completely aligned. I just watched Friends with Kids, where he's talking about his friend. They've chosen to have a child together but not be together because they're not, well, he's not attracted to her. But anyway, if you want to watch it, it's a good movie. But he's describing like this, how could I have made a better choice for, you know, to be the mother of my child. And he's like, I know, like, if she is, you know, if she's on life support, that she wants me to pull the plug, and I will. Like he said, I know where she stands on every single thing, and I am behind her 100%. So this is like two people who respect them, and it feels like the Newlywed Game, where, you know, you kind of do quizzes. You two are probably going to be very good at like charades or Pictionary, or, you know, board games or whatever. It's like, I see you guys chest bumping, or like, yeah, we fucking rock. You guys just see, you guys are just, you kind of like read each other's minds. You read each other's body language. You just know each other so well. You could have known each other for a long time. 19 years is how long the friends in the movie have known each other. And I believe he's an Aries. I don't know his name, the actor, but I believe he's an Aries. And then we have the Emperor here. So there is Aries energy. You or your person could have strong Aries placements. The understudy sign for the Emperor is Capricorn as well. So we have Leo, Capricorn, Aries, Capricorn with the Two of Pentacles. So, and the Ace of Pentacles at the center here. This is solid, balanced, and there's a leader here. There's a leadership quality to, a balance to the leadership. there's no competition, there's no hierarchy, there's no sense of I call the shots, I wear the pants. There's none of that. You both wear pants and you both wear skirts. Maybe somebody's Scottish, or what is that? The Mongolian, isn't it Mongolians who wear those like armored kilt dress kind of things, you know, samurai, they wear those kind of things. So there's something like a warrior spirit, like a very old warrior spirit. But you know, it's always those like strong warriors that are always fighting for love, you know. So it's you know, it's like the masculine comes home, drops their, you know, their kilt, their warrior armor and all of that, and they're able to be soft with this feminine. They're able to just kind of be the little spoon here, and vice versa. It's this feminine is ready to be led by this masculine because this masculine has submitted to the feminine, and that way that's all, folks. For that reason, the feminine is more than willing to submit to the masculine. So it's an equal, you know, dom sub switch kind of dynamic, right? Where there's just no ego is not in the way of this. The ego is not in the way of this. This is a beautiful. There's clarity all the way with the sun. This is like this masculine is very transparent. They're honest. I mean, transparent and honest. Like they won't throw any shade, and that's the thing. They're always going to support their feminine. Like anything that feminine says, I am behind them 100%. And it's not just because they're blindly following them or they're a simp or whatever. It's because they trust the core values of that feminine. Okay, what do we got? The moon. Yeah, the sun and the moon. You know, and today, you know, I love when the sun and the moon are both out at the same time, and the earth, the ego, is out of the way, and they're able to just look at each other face to face. This is like an eclipse. This eclipse could have been kind of monumental. Something about laundry. This could be something like it was monumental. Judgment. This masculine's made a judgment call. This is the feminine I want. It's my moon. The sun and the moon are the divine masculine and feminine celestial bodies. And then we have the Four of Wands, the 1111, the union. This is the twin flame connection, right? Coming into the 3D. So this is the Holy Trinity in the 3D. So you may be having a person. You may be having a child with this person. Yeah, okay, so we got the Two of Cups, and she's holding her belly. So yes, this looks to me like this connection, you're going to have a child with this person. Now, having a child, that might not be for everybody. You may, having a child, or in the Holy Trinity, it is the ultimate co-creation. It's the divine masculine, divine feminine, the divine creation. So that could be some sort of project or anything. But we have a Knight of Cups, so there could be strong water placements in the masculine side coming in to pursue this feminine who's, yeah, this is kind of a boss feminine, but they are a little bit weary. So there's Libra energy here with the raven bringing this letter in. There's some sort of message coming in, a divine message. Oh my gosh, Virgo, I know you guys are probably looking at my freaking nails like, Nikki, get it together. I was in part raised by a Virgo, so yeah. So the judgment, somebody could be judging themselves kind of harshly. Maiden of Pipes, Queen of Wands. No, Maiden is the Page of Wands, which is the matriarch is the queen. So the feminine is here with these wands, right? This Eight of Wands, which is doing things your own way, forging your own path. And this Page of Wands energy is someone who's, maybe this feminine is really just focused on working on their work, on their career, on their tangible 3D reality, and feeling a little bit haggard here, right? With the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Wands is very beautiful. So even though that's the Page of Wands, I read it as the Queen of Wands initially. So this could be someone that's, again, like I'm sitting here judging myself for nails, like feeling like y'all are judging me for that. So this could be a feminine who dealt with a lot of judgment growing up. Could be raised by, maybe you were raised by a Virgo or something, and that could be a hold up here. Is you might think, oh gosh, there's another Virgo, they're gonna judge me because that Virgo did, or that past person just got you to a place where you judge yourself so harshly. This person does not judge you, and you might, and in friends with kids, you know, it's the physical attraction is the uncommon denominator in their connection. And so you may feel like the feminine might not feel like this masculine would be attracted to them, but they are. We got polygamy, the Nine of Wands, or the Nine of Swords, sorry, which is like anxiety. Yeah, they might think like, oh, they're gonna want other feminines, this masculine so attractive, or maybe they have like a player quality, or you might think that they have a player quality, that they're gonna want other feminines, that you won't be enough for that. But we have the Chief of Vessels. This is a King of Cups. A King of Cups is so emotionally fulfilled. They don't need all these, you know, females fawning over them, or, you know, this could be a masculine who just kind of like, yeah, because they're in a boat with another man. It looks like a guide or something like that. And that guide is looking away, and there's a large black bird up in the sky where land is. This is a masculine who's willing to go into the depths. They're willing to leave land. They're willing to leave the familiar. Because this person's looking away, we don't see their face. This could be a masculine who has a strong ancestor, masculine ancestor that is behind their back, has their back, and because they were maybe raised by this strong masculine, or they had some sort of influence around them. This could be someone who's passed on, or this could be someone that's just kind of there. This could also be like this masculine's looking back at the land. This could just be a dual representation of the masculine themselves, where it's like maybe they were raised by a philandering, lush lech of a father or something, or they had like an uncle or somebody, you know, maybe they had like player energy around them when they were young, and they're leaving that all behind. They may have been a player before, but it's like this is a masculine who's gotten wiser, and they realize that the true excitement is the deeper that you go, the further away from all you've ever known that you go. Because what you've known, you know it, you've seen it. You know, you can't see the forest for the trees. When there's so many people around you, you don't see any love there. You just get a lot of attention. But this is a masculine who's secure in their emotions. They don't need attention, right? They need intention. And that is someone, look how intent they are, like they're moving. They could be traveling. But yeah, they've got their pipe here. So this is someone who's I'm getting someone who says, they've got their 5 o'clock shadow, and they're sort of their head wrap, their turban. That's someone who's spiritually wise, right? Someone who's centered and willing to meditate, which is that Virgo energy of the Four of Swords. Someone who's in a contemplative energy. This is possibly someone who, this masculine, is a lot deeper than they look. There's something about them that the feminine perceives or perceived as being maybe superficial, because maybe they're so attractive, or they're very like charismatic or whatever. Like they just have this kind of naturally attractive quality about them, and the feminine, I feel, is doubting their attractiveness. But we have the Nine of Cups. This feminine is their wish fulfillment, right? But yeah, there could be like sort of like a primal part of this masculine that maybe fed into needing all the attention with that sun energy there. Like they could have a Leo placement, which I have a Leo placement, so don't come at me. But Leos are used to, as the sun being the center of the universe or the solar system, so they typically get a lot of attention, and therefore they're used to getting a lot of attention. And so when they don't get attention, it can really mess with their ego. This is someone who, fortunately, because of their possible water placements, they haven't allowed, they never let their fiery energy. You could have fire placements and water placements, and it's like, you need to cool it down. Somebody could have given them wisdom. They could have some masculine who's kind of like a friend that they went to, or something where they just got really good advice. And that's like somebody's taking out the garbage, right? This is someone who's curated, this masculine has curated with the help of their ancestors. It's like a guide. They've had a spiritual guide here. That could be the feminine as well. They could see a similarity between strange message, but this masculine could see a similarity between their father or grandfather and this feminine. They're like, you just remind me of them, and that's where I felt the most like me. I could be the most myself, and that was my favorite person. So it's like this feminine, and if this ancestor has passed, or if this person has passed on, it's like they're helping you. And birds, you could be a Libra cusper. The Virgo here could be a Libra cusper. You could be dealing with a Libra, but it's like this Libra energy here with the ravens bringing these messages in. It's like you're getting downloads and assistance from your ancestors to guide you in the most emotionally fulfilling way. You could have some sort of heirloom, like a watch, or that's like in Pulp Fiction. But if you know that scene, it's just funny. But yeah, this is someone, there's like a warrior spirit that almost like a barbaric sort of masculine heritage. Because this masculine, the way they're looking at them is like, you always looked back. You always wanted to stay in the trees. And I want to go into the ocean. I want to go deeper. It's going to be masculine who moved away from home very early. Yeah, they could just come from a culture. I'm just getting a lot from this card where it's like they could have come from a culture that was quite barbaric, maybe didn't treat, if this is a male masculine, I feel that they grew up with a lineage of masculines who did not treat women very well. And they could be looking at them, but now that this person's passed on, their spirit is pure because they are not of the vessel, they're not of the ego anymore. So it's like they're getting the purest form from them to move forward and heal. And this masculine had to do a lot of shadow work to work out that paternal healing or that ancestral healing. And they know that the fulfillment is actually here. With this Scorpio energy here, it's like, this isn't a ball and chain. It's a silk sash. So I'm getting that there's the physical intimacy between you two is gonna maybe be quite decadent, you know. 50 Shades, right? 50 Shades of Grey. I believe he's a Taurus and she is a Libra. But they, you know, this is a young man who, and he's smoking this pipe, you know, which is like, it's a younger man. Doesn't look too old here, but he's smoking a pipe. So there's something about this masculine having like an old soul. But yeah, they sort of like took a roundabout way to get to this conclusion that love is the thing, love is the answer. The sun, more Leo energy. But see, this is like the child. You've always known, this masculine always knew the sun was the answer and the sun was the truth. So maybe like growing up through religion, maybe you grew up in a religion where there was polygamy, and that was just kind of the way of it. There's something about this masculine growing up and looking at the sun and going, that doesn't feel true. So even if they did operate out of this player energy or this barbaric energy, it never felt true to them, because there's something about this pipe, that there's something about like old ancestors. Maybe going on some sort of vision quest, having some sort of spiritual awakening, spiritual experience or ceremony that awakened them to the truth of what it means to be a divine masculine. That's the sun, is the divine masculine. And so, yeah, it could be that this feminine reminds them of like their mother or their grandmother. But even if they had like a lovely grandmother or mother, if they had these barbaric masculines or men in their life mistreating these women, there's a lack of respect for those women for taking the hits. Could be literal hits, but for taking that and submitting to masculines who were not there to lead them or take care of them. You know, they could have discovered that they had a whole other family, right? Maybe it wasn't supposed to be polygamous, but maybe they were just sort of out there, had multiple partners. So there could have been infidelity and something like that. And there's something about this feminine that represents the hope that this masculine had. And I'm seeing Aries symbols in the sun here as well. So Aries placements are very important. Could be a mother or father was an Aries. But there's 19 with this as well, right? Which is, and then I'm seeing 9. So 9, 19. So there's like a going out on your own. This wish card, right? The 9 of Cups, wish fulfillment. Dream come true. This is like that ceremony. There's some sort of ceremony. And I feel like this masculine kind of inherited or was adopted by other spiritual leaders, guides. So if they had a shitty father, let's just put it in layman's terms. If they had a shitty father, they've like found really strong men in their life that represented what it meant to be a divine masculine. how to treat women, how to treat their partners, how to treat themselves, what it really means to be a leader. It's not just being bossy. It's showing that you are willing to go through it with the other person. So I like that in this love, because coming through all of that, you could have met this person, feminines, you could have met this masculine when they were not quite there yet. They were still working out. They were still like flushing out. I get like purging out the barbarian. And they're sort of coming into this place of, they've come into this place when you have this reunion or this initial union, right? Because if you've never met, you were dealing with masculines who were operating on this lower frequency because your masculine was operating on a lower frequency, and vice versa. The masculine dealt with feminines who were operating on a lower frequency because the feminine was. So it's like you've been healing that, whether you've met in the 3D or not. You are in separation essentially, because all twin flames are in separation, because we are all married in the 5D. And so the 1111, the 4 of Wands, is bringing that 5D union into the 3D. So there's something about some sort of cleansing ceremony. It might be the wedding that you have. But it feels like you're breaking tradition here, because again, you have this silk sash around their ankle. And this feminine is not running away. And if they were to decide to walk away, there's no knots tied here. That sash would just slip right off their ankle and they would be free to walk away. It's not an attachment. It's not conditional. It's very unconditional, balanced love. But it's been quite a journey, especially for the masculine, to get here. And I feel like the feminine has been kind of patiently waiting and observing for this masculine to realize their power. Because this page of Wands looks like a Queen of Wands that's waiting for her King of Wands. But she's staying in this page energy, which is a more passive energy of just observing and waiting for this masculine to really come into their divine frequency. So there could be a long period of celibacy on the feminine side, maybe not so much on the masculine side. But it's like they understand it now with this Knight of Cups. I just love how this masculine is like, nobody really showed me how to do this, so I'm showing myself. If this masculine has found new connections or representations of divine masculine leaders, spiritual guides, gurus, mentors, right? They've chosen to do that because they always had their eye on the prize, which is this divine love, agape love, unconditional love of the sun, which is what a divine masculine gives to their divine feminine with the moon, right? Where was that at? The sun and the moon. And we also have the moon with two suns here. So the feminine, you may have been choosing between two masculines, right? So which one is the true masculine? And in that movie, Friends with Kids, you know, she's matched up with like the perfect guy, and he's matched up with a younger, it's Megan Fox, right? And like just for superficial reasons. The world has come out twice, so there could be a distance, physical distance between you two. But worlds are also something coming to an end. But you know, I don't want to spoil the movie, but you know, I mean, it's not like it's like a mystery or a thriller or something, like a psychological thriller. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward romantic comedy. So like all the same elements are there. They go in one direction and then discover, oh, that's not actually, they get everything they thought they wanted, and then they realize that's not what I actually want. So it's something about like this love feels like it could be a little bit messy, on the outside, like you two are, there's something unconventional about you two. You wouldn't think that you two would work, but because of that Two of Pentacles and you being so compatible at your core, at your center, your truth is completely aligned. All those other little factors are not even factors. So, waiting on a masculine to have this epiphany and to pursue the feminine and come in with this, the strong masculine energy that was coming through with the Emperor, the sun's coming out. Somebody might have multiple kids. They could have, you know, multiple sons. Maybe you will with this person. And that feels very exciting too for the masculine. If you do have a son, that, okay, now I can show this young boy how to be a grown person and a true masculine. Where I did not get those. It's like this masculine is like a self-taught, self-made divine masculine. And even if they had help along the way, because we always do, whether it's, you know, divine intervention, working through people, we have that choice to seek that out or to call that in and to listen to it and to apply those lessons and to apply those words of wisdom. That's all a choice. So you are self-made. And so you have a really strong leader here in this masculine, because they understand that you are equal and you're both in this together. With that Two of Pentacles, I love that for both of you, because that gives both of you the strength to move through all the trials, because you know you have somebody that has your back. You know that you don't have to be perfect on your game all the time, and those things are not, this person loves who you are. All right. And so, yeah, if there are any like apprehensions about your physical appearance or anything like that, it's like, when it comes down to it, none of that matters, right? Because all this drops away and changes, and in the blink of an eye, something could happen. And you could, you know, just saying, you could get into some sort of accident and you could be the most physically gorgeous person, you know, just like, I hate to say it, but, you know, like Megan Fox as an example here, absolutely beautiful, stunning, and yet because of her perceived imperfections, she mutilated her face. And so many people do that. It's like the most beautiful people in Hollywood mutilate their face because of their insecurities and because all of their value is placed on their appearance anyway. So it's like when you are kind of like that ugly duckling syndrome sort of thing, you learn to develop a better personality. I mean, that's just kind of like how things go. So it's like that's what makes you beautiful anyway, and that's what's going to keep you naturally beautiful through your lifetime. But yeah, something could happen, and you know, you get in some sort of accident and this all goes away. If this is all you're basing your value on, you're fucked. So anyway, hopefully there was something in here for you, Virgo, and until next time, I wish you well.